Mr. Hisham. Okay, Mr. Hisham will have 2 sessions. Okay, I'm referring to the schedule right now. So 3:30 until 4, sharing session by Mr. Hisham, maximizing and organizing Google Classroom. That is Mr. Hisham's first session. And his second session is 4 until 4:30, live streaming with OBS Studio. Okay, so these 2 sessions, I believe, are very interesting. Okay, so Mr. Hisham.
Okay, hello. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good afternoon to everybody. Hello, Assalamualaikum. Can you see me? Okay, so I will switch on the presentation. Okay, here we go. All right, so this is showing it. Okay. Okay, this is just a sharing of my experience about how to maximize and how to organize your Google Classroom to the best of my abilities, which I did after several semesters of using it. But this one will be based on my experiences for the academic session 2019-2020 semester 2. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, at first I'm going to go through the slides. I will show you, I will try to define things to you and the things that I learned, and show you screenshots of the Google Classroom that I've built. And then later I will go through the Google Classroom that I have myself so that you can see. Okay, so next one. Is it moving? All right. Google Classroom. Okay, so what is Google Classroom? I should not tell you what Google Classroom is because most of you have been using, all of you have been using Google Classroom. But just to give it a proper outline, it creates an online classroom. It just disseminates instructions and lecture notes to students and manages students' teaching and learning activities, and also records student activities and assessment. So it's basically what you can do in a normal classroom. It gives you the ability to do what you should usually do in a normal classroom online. Okay, so this is the front page of one of the classes. Is AS4. I will go through the naming conventions and everything. When you first create your room, you will have the 4 tabs up here: stream, classwork, people, and grades. The stream is basically your timeline, like on Facebook. Whatever that you posted, whatever that anybody does, anything that any other teachers, which is part of that classroom, whenever they post, it will come out here chronologically. But this isn't the important part. The most important part for us as in SAIL, I believe, is the classwork. So classwork, although it says here week 14, week 13, week 12, the headers are known as topics. So when I began, I think 2-3 years ago, I used topics instead of weeks. But as I went on in the years, I realized that it would be better to break it up according to weeks and put all your course notes, all your whatever activity, whatever assessment you need in accordance to the week that you are supposed to teach them. And if you see to the right here, there's a right column here. It tells you all topics, and all the topics are here. Every time, wherever you press on whichever topic, you will go to that topic. So you can see here, I've already arranged it from week 1 to week 14. And then there's also things like new instructions. The new instructions are here because of our COVID-19 for them for their assessment. And then also the assessment submissions here, so that they know exactly where to submit. but I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go on to the next thing first. First thing first, whenever you create a Google Classroom, this is for my English Theatre Arts. I use this for English Theatre Arts as well. Always save your codes and your links so that you can give your students at any time, especially in the first few weeks. First few weeks, you have new students coming in, and then you have already, okay, first week, second week, you've told your whatever students that who have already joined, you tell them this is the link for you to do this, this is the link for you to do this. And usually, sometimes, not usually, sometimes week 4, week 5, you tell them again, this is what you should do in this Google Classroom, and there will always be 1 and 2 students who have been there for the last couple of weeks, but they just want to ask you in week 5 or week 6, sir, where is our Google Classroom? So instead of having to look for this text, for this code, the class code, you will need, if possible, you can save the class code and the link elsewhere, either in your phone or on your computer, where you can just copy paste and send it to them. Best thing is for you to have it on your phone, because you get your messages from students like at any odd hours, or whenever you're traveling from one place to another place, or when you're on business somewhere in maybe in Kangan to do something else, but you have time to send the message. You send the message whenever you can. So naming convention, there should be a standard naming convention. So whatever names that I give here, this is my own. So we haven't in EGC, in ETA, well, there's no other teachers in ETA, but we haven't actually sat down and said this is how we should do it. But these are ideas which we should be able to implement in coming semesters. Okay, so there should be a naming convention so that students can find and expect the locations of the class activities. Class transfer students need not be briefed again. They know, they can see the names are there. And the instructions on how to write the names should be in Google Classroom. All teachers are able to view each other's classroom easily, so they know this is week 10, and this is for example, writing the writing assessment, or this is the my line. So it's not just as writing and then the name of the student, or a student just thinks that they want to write myline.pdf and then submit it to you. And then when we save it, and if we forget to change the name of each file, you have to look one at a time. Each file, open the file of this who. So make sure we get the students to write the names of their details in the names of the files that they send. So for example, here's an example. Class naming. For me, class group, AS4, academic year 1920, session 2. So on Google Classroom, there will be AS4 19202. If you want, you can also add, for example, if you want to put EGC, you can put UVW 201 in front. This is not something that is tied down. So it's up to each group to come up with their own standard naming. So student submission file naming, the same thing. Student class roster number, put 12 in front. This is important, because when you save it, and then it's easy for you to refer to the PDF in the file manager on the computer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, in accordance to the names in the class roster as well on AMIS. Because, for example, if you have students from two different program codes, they will have it will not be following the alphabetical order. So try to follow this. It's easier for us to refer to which student is where on the AMIS naming table, and then easy for us to give marks when we do assessment and all that. So Also, student matrix number, just in case. The class roster will ensure students' files are saved in the same order as the class roster on MS. Ensure students use their Unimap student email to log into Google Classroom. Because if they use their own email, they have weird names, and then it will be difficult for you to I actually have to ask students, who is this Kisnur? Oh, Balkis, Nur Balkis, something like that. So, next. Organizational structure, the one that I said, the three main things that in terms of organization structure of your classroom is your classwork by week, semester instructions, and then the assessment submission. So let's go classwork by week. These are all topics. When you first start, you say it's topic 1, topic 2, topic 3. You can create topic, but you can create topic by, say, the topic of your subject, but by creating weeks, it's easier for us to go from one week to another week with the students. So by week, you can put text instructors, video lectures, video instructions, everything you can enter into your topic. So you can add PDF, you can search for, let's say if in your course you need to show a video that your course coordinator give you. This is a video, please show this. You can actually find that video on YouTube, the one from wherever the course coordinator gets it, and you can just put a link in the week 12, and then they can just press on it and they can watch the video immediately. Also, you have Google Forms for your activity and tests, and Google Form for your attendance. This attendance will be new last semester because of our COVID-19 MCO. So we'll come to that a bit later on to talk about that more later. Semester instructions is basically everything that you need, everything that the student needs to do to know about the course, about, it's basically your week one. Everything should be written somewhere. In this case, in the picture here, it's the slide for week 1. Everything is here. But I have found that they miss a lot of details when I put the slides here. So next semester, I plan on actually breaking the slides into its own paragraphs in Google Classroom for them to read. And finally, assessment submissions for UVW 201, we don't have any exams. So what I did was I created one topic and said assessment submissions, and everything that they have to submit goes here. So from this one topic, I opened 6 forms. Each form is for them to submit their material. So the instructions can also be part of it. When they press on the, let's say grammar quiz, grammar quiz is special. So like my line submission, just press on my line submission and the instructions will be there. I will go to that a bit later. And then you can submit here, and then all the supplementary materials, for example, my line, the cover page, you can download from here as well. So this is to ensure that students know exactly what to do for the assignment, students know exactly where to submit the assessment, and then the teachers can easily access the student submission. Also, let's say if another teacher has to take over another teacher's class, it's easy for the second teacher to know where everything is on the first teacher's Google Classroom. So in that respect, everybody will have to work together to come up with a standard operating procedure on how to create your Google Classroom for your course. This is a closer look at assessment. This is my line. So when they want to submit, they can submit here. This is my view. This is the teacher's view. For the student's view, there's a submission form. Instructions, submission form is here, and supplementary materials is here. So attendance in conjunction with Google Sheet, this is if we use attendance like what Mr. Buzzley has talked about earlier, the synchronous attendance, we don't need to use the Google Classroom. So we can use the Google Meet add-on. But for me, before that, I didn't know how to do that. What I did was I took synchronous attendance and asynchronous attendance. So basically what happens is this. We have the class with them, the live class, online, but for 1.5 hours to 2 hours, it's like a regular class, and the attendance is taken based on the student's availability and the activity at that time. So what they have to do is I send them a link to, for example, week 4, so not week 4, week 10 live online class. So if they were there to hear me speak for that within that 2 hours, they can click on that, and then they can say that they have attended. If they couldn't attend, they will say that they can't attend and why. And I found that a lot of them, they were very truthful about it. So that is for the class, the online class. So there's also the asynchronous attendance, which is the whole week. The whole week we also give them other things to read, and then we test them. Not really test. We give them simple assignments, activity for them to do based on what we've talked about. Once they read, they watch the videos that we give them. If they do this activity within the 5-day period, it can be 6 days. It's up to you, or the whole week before the next class for them starts. Then when they submit whatever we ask them to submit, that is considered an attendance for asynchronous attendance. So at this point, the other day that we were asked to give the attendance, right? How many % of students for live, and then how many % synchronous, asynchronous. So this is how I calculate. I'll show you after this. So this is for live, and this is synchronous and asynchronous. This is how I calculate. Week 7 synchronous, week 7 asynchronous, week 8 synchronous, week 8 asynchronous. So anybody who was there during the let's say on week 8, week 7 synchronous, all the ones means they are present. The reason why it's a 1 there, because at the bottom of the screen, it's not shown here. It actually automatically adds up everybody and says how many people attended the class. So if you did not attend, for example, in week 7 asynchronous, so these 2 people, Muhammad Khairul Ikhwan and Muhammad Zul Fadli, they did not submit their activity. So I just instead of putting a 0 there, I just put yellow. It's easier to see. And at the bottom of the frame, or at the bottom of the table, it will give another number compared to, which is different compared to the synchronous. And then at the end of the week, what I do is like this. Week 7, AS4, ICOM 3, MECA 2, PPED 5. Attendance, this is how many attended. And then it tells you how many % attended. This is also automatically calculated. I use the calculation function of Google Sheets to do this. Same with asynchronous attendance. How many actually submitted the activity, and this is the percentage of attendance. And all these other things is just for the form that they gave us to do. Other tools used. Sometimes I change between the tools, between the different classes. So that is how I calculate attendance for using Google Classroom. So a few other things. It is important that you communicate with your students about Google Classroom on especially using WhatsApp, because as we know, WhatsApp is very important in terms of quick turnaround time for them to reply to us. So what I do is, I create I create 5 extra activities on Google Classroom for week 1, week 2. I will take 3 later, blah blah blah. So they know exactly when it's going to happen. So when I've explained to them what I'm going to do, I give them the link on WhatsApp, and each link should be saved somewhere, either on your phone, as a text, just the link, the URL, on the phone, where you can easily copy and paste, because they will ask you whenever. So if you don't want to forget, you don't say. So I asked you to give me the link yesterday. So if you want to be able to do that immediately, you have to be prepared to save all the links somewhere so that you can copy paste and give it to them. So students are reminded constantly what activities they have to do, what assessment they have to submit, what are the URL for each classroom are. Not just the classroom, but also you can have URL for each topic and URL for each activity, and how you have to submit and when they should submit. So label each link and send the correct URL to the class chat group, so on WhatsApp lah. And also this is something which I did. I also bookmarked everything that I need to access on Firefox. So instead of just going to I type Google Classroom or just hit Google Classroom on the bookmarks, I bookmark Google Classroom, the assessment, bookmark Google Sheets, attendance, I bookmark Google Sheets, marks, so that it's easier for us to access quickly, or else it'll be, it'll take time. Future ideas, this is something which I haven't done, but I was planning on doing this next semester, to also have the MyLine. Instead of just having MyLine link to MyLine, you have to link to each MyLine activity that they have to do on Classroom. For example, I've done it on WhatsApp here, MyLine, test and rank 6, test and rank 7, characters quiz 1. So they will go exactly to the activity. Instead of, like sometimes they submit not even the test and rank, the test that we ask them to do. They get 0 because of that. So with this, hopefully they will only do what we ask them to do specifically on MyLine. Please use the mobile device, because you can monitor and manage your classes away from your laptops and desktop computer. So if you are like relaxing or balik kampung for the weekend and you have nothing to do and people asking you things, you still can access. You still can actually you can assess their activities. You spend 1 hour, you can just go through everything, blah 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 blah, and you can give marks if you want to. And if you install Google Forms in your phone, you can check all the forms as well. You can change the forms. You can come up with new activities even when you are away from your laptop and your desktop. And finally, this is something which I did early on, which I created a sandbox. A sandbox is actually a class. Basically, this is like like earlier on. This is AS4. So this is just called a sandbox, and the sandbox class is for you to play around the sandbox. So you can create new things, you can experiment, you can put new pictures, you can put videos, just to see how it works. No students are supposed to be there. For me here, students are 0. So you can experiment, you can put new reading materials here, and you can test to see whether it works or not. Sometimes you put the PDF and it doesn't work, so at least you can test here. You can delete, no problem, because there are no new students here. But when you get everything just perfect in the sandbox, you can add whatever you wrote in the sandbox you can duplicate the question or the activity in the sandbox into your proper classroom. You do not have to rewrite. So you can play around here, experiment, what salah sikit, here a bit wrong, here a bit right, and until you get it just right. And then when you open your proper class during the semester, you can copy from the sandbox to to your new class without rewriting, and everything will go with it. We will show you a bit that later on. You can add material from, okay, yeah, that's right. Okay, so before we end, let me see if I can show you this. Where? Classroom. Google Classroom. Can't find it. Okay, so this is English to the Arts, this is AS4, this is ICOM 3, this is MECA 2, Grade 5, this is my Sandbox. So let's go to Stream, tells chronologically what I posted. Classwork, week 14, week 13, week 12, and the attendance are also here. I have that like that. Forms. Theme, fake news. The PDF is here. Activity form is here. You submit here. And then there are meme generators, and then I give something for them to read about how to spot fake news items. Assessment submission is here. You can see one at a time. How to submit your MyLine results. Speaking assessment. Group video. Ensure you title it like this. Oops, sorry. Okay, going back, you can access any of your classes here. Go back to main. In your Sandbox, everything is here. Everything that I've experimented can be found here. APA reference, attendance, blah, 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 all the nonsense here. And let's say if I want to use any of this, I can just create and reuse posts. And you can select your post from. These are all the ones that I've deactivated from previous classes from Sandbox. And everything in Sandbox is here. All you have to do is just choose one, and then you'll press reuse. Create new copies of all attachments. It will create new copies of Google Forms or Google Sheets in your Google Drive. So make sure that this is ticked so that you don't have like 10 classes in one Google Sheet for you to sift through. Especially if they write, you know how they write their classes are different. One person will write AS space 4, another person will write small caps A, small caps S4. This will make very difficult for you to sort out the students. So make sure that you create new copies of all attachments for each class. So don't to reuse. Close here. And that is all from me about Google Classroom. Thank you very much. If there's any questions, I will take it for now.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Hisham, for
Welcome.
the session. Yeah, the second session, right?
New class. Yeah.
Okay, so Mr. Hisham's first session is about Google Classroom. So if you have any question, you may ask right now before Mr. Hisham moved on to the second session.
Whatever it is.
Hello, Assalamualaikum. Kak Ina here.
Can.
Can.
Okay.
Assalamualaikum, can you hear me?
Okay, I see Dr. Ina is switching on the microphone.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, can.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Hisham, Bazli, and those and Nana who has presented a very good ways to fulfill the class. Then about the Google Classroom, I think what Mr. Hisham has said is very good. That there's one consideration that I want to bring into focus, which is the student learning time, SLT. SLT as in when we prepare materials for the students, especially on we are preparing reading materials. So do bear in mind that the students have SLT, student learning time, which is calculated according to their credit hours. So my point is I have been seeing feedback on student Twitter. They complain about having to do too many things before the class or after the class, which takes them outside class time. Effort outside class time. So I think all of us, I'm also guilty of that actually. So it's just a general reminder for everyone, not exactly to Mr. Hisham, but to all of us . So when we prepare material, especially when you Google Classroom, you can park everything there. Do bear in mind about the calculation of student learning time, about not taking too much of the student time outside the given providence of SLT, because they are also taking other subjects. Yeah, that's all from Kak Ina. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Kak Ina, for sharing. Okay, your opinion. All right. So without further ado, oh, sorry, didn't check.
All right. Okay. Yes, it does affect your Google storage quota. Before this, I've been using my personal Google Drive for Google Classroom, but I've been told that our Unimap emails will be using, we will have unlimited storage. So yeah, so from next semester onwards, I'll be using my Unimap email to help me with Google Drive and Google Classroom. Does that answer your question? All right, cool.
Okay, all right. So thank you, Mr. Hisham. And now I would like to call Mr. Hisham again for his second session. Okay, and this will be the last session, the closing session, okay, for today. So from 4 until 4:30, sharing session by Mr. Hisham, live streaming with OBS Studio. This one sounds interesting.
Okay, I'm back again.
Yay!
Okay, I'm going to present this. Hang on to me a sec. I'm going to present the entire screen. Are we in? Am I presenting? All right, okay. So live streaming with OBS Studio. So there are actually two things to unpack here. One is live streaming, and the other one is OBS Studio. Live streaming is when you are streaming your activities online. You are basically running your class online, just like whatever you're doing when you're doing Google Meet. I had to do a few things. Last semester, I did the co-curricular class, English to the Arts, and in that class, I had to normally at the end of the semester, the students will have to come and perform their play on stage. Since we couldn't do that, I had to look for something new, and I found that I could live stream video. So I had to sacrifice the fact that they actually had to perform with each other on stage, and so what they had to do is they had to compile their own video of the play. So instead of a presentation, yeah, it's okay. I'll come to that. Instead of live presentation, they had to come up with a video. But if they come up with a video, then why would I just, they could just submit a video to me, and I can assess from the video. So what I want to do is I want to do for them to virtually perform with their videos. So I read up on how to live stream their videos. Plus, I had to learn how to be the MC for the live stream event. So now we have the video, and then they have the camera on me, and then I need to show the viewers that this is the name of the course and what's going on, the title of the videos that the students are presenting. Plus, I needed them to be able to interact by text as I was presenting the video, and all these texts are recorded as the video was shown. So I did live streaming using OBS Studio via YouTube Live. That's the history of how I came to play around, experiment with live streaming. So let's go through the slides. So this is a experience sharing only, and I'll try to. I hope it doesn't screw up, because the other day it had some problems trying to get the feed from different video feeds and audio feeds and everything. But I will have a brief demonstration of how it works. So 30 minutes is not enough to cover how the whole thing works, but it might give you an idea of how you can live stream, or maybe you have a better idea of how to live stream, what things that you can present to the students. Maybe you want to show something to them, like Angela's bread here. Oh, no camera. I forgot. I'll show it after this. While live stream, it can be both asynchronous and synchronous. We'll come to that. It's cheap. There are lots of online tools for you to do a lot of cool things. It's easy to repurpose other materials, for example, your own course notes, or you can find videos online, or you can create videos online. And there are things like Powtoons which allow you to create your own animated graphics and all that. So it takes less time to create. You might think that it takes more time to create, but I'll get to that. So asynchronous and synchronous. You present to a live class just like Google Meet. You're able to present more and diverse materials to them in real time because the tools allow you to do that. It allows you to overlay things. It allows you to show things. If you have more than one camera, you can set up 3 different cameras to point at different things. And as you present, you can change the camera view. During the live stream, if you're using YouTube Live, or if you're using Facebook Live, you're using Twitch, your students can interact by text. They can ask you questions. If they want, they can also integrate their feed with your live streaming feed, which allows them to be live streaming along with you. And the stream is recorded wherever you go, whatever platform you use. So you can play it. You can play it later. And not only you play the video later like you're just running a video, but you can, as you play the video, you can view the chat that is being typed by the students as the video was played. So there's an additional layer of information that you can talk about later on in class. It's cheap because all you need is your internet connected laptop, phone with webcam. There are many free streaming platforms, there are many free streaming applications. So there are two things to think about here, platforms and applications. So the platforms, YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Instagram Live, Twitch, a lot of streamers are actually video game players. And some of them, they're not just one video gamers, they're like 2 or 3, they talk to each other, they can interact. People watch them, see them interact with each other as they play. Apps included, the one that I use is Open Broadcaster software, OBS Studio, and there's also Streamlab OBS and Lightstream. All of these are free, there are also non-free ones. Lightstream is cloud-based, so it's like Adobe Cloud. You don't really install the program into your laptop or your desktop, but you use a cloud service for that. You can repurpose other material, you can integrate course notes into your stream, PDF files, slides, images, videos that you save. You show videos from YouTube. You can play them, you can overlay them. You can even have a green screen behind you, and you can have make things that pop. If you can plan well, if you can plan as a group for your course, you can think of things that are relevant to your course and that will grab the attention of students visually or audially. You can record and stream a video of your own lecture, and you can stream, or you can stream your lecture live. When you stream your lecture live, you have your live feedback. You can record, you can also record, you can use OBS to also record your own lecture. You don't have to stream it. You record it and you upload to YouTube, and you can use that to show the students. Takes less time to produce. Okay, while a 500-word post would not be regarded as a comprehensive piece of content, it would not generate a lot of exposure. It can be read in 3 to 4 minutes. So what it's saying is that you spend a lot of time to write a book or to create a 30-page slide. Find all the words for it. You spend time to write, and then you present it. It takes less time to do that rather than to come up with, for example, the way that I came up with this was just write an outline. What are the keywords? What are the things to talk about in each slide, and you just take it away. You do things on the fly. It takes less time to produce because it takes 2 or 3 hours to create and edit a simple vlog, or it could take a long time to produce a book for the students to read. So now OBS, it allows you to live stream your lectures, videos, materials to students. Record your videos on your hard disk as well, so you can set it so that whatever that you stream will be recorded on your computer. You set up and choose camera scenes as you live stream, which means you can set up your cameras to whatever that you have on your computer, on images, videos. You can play sounds. You can overlay images one on top of another. You can do like the weather scene. This is verb on the left, noun on the right, and the words and the nouns comes up as you talk to them live. You can create titles and use transitions. You can set up and run images and audio live. So this is a screenshot of OBS. There are 5. If you see there's a main window. This is what the viewer will only be seeing, the main window, the program window, my face, and then with the University Malaysia Palace logo there and a bit of a star field on the right, and that's all they see on YouTube or on Facebook or on Twitch. Everything else is your control. What you do, you can increase your audio output, you can decrease your audio output, you can increase your mic, decrease your mic. If you want, if you want to say something, you can switch off your mic here. You can add different things to it. So this is what happens when you use studio mode. you see there's a preview window here and a program window here. The students or the viewers will only see the program window. This is live. This is what they see. But there's also a preview window here. The preview is based on scenes down here. You can create different scenes based on different windows. You can maybe have one marked PDF where it's only logged onto a PDF of your notes. So when you click on this scene, your PDF will come out here. For example, here it says the UVW 201 English for General Communication. So you can mix and match, you can move, you can make the video, the windows bigger and smaller, you can type your own text. This is a screenshot of me doing a live streaming on YouTube with the students discussing. So what I told the students is they had to discuss, they had to present what they did to the class and to the viewers. So they actually interacted with each other very well during the live streaming, and I used that as part of my final assessment of the course. So this window had me writing English Theatre Arts on the top left-hand corner, and then my name and the UZW17157 on the bottom left-hand corner. And between them, it's actually a video of embers, like embers. It's actually moving. If you see the original, so I'm in the window on the taking up most of the right side, but on the empty space on the lights on the left side, it's actually an animated flame going on there. So you can actually create things like that as well. And here are my students. Well, one student and their family member. I think she died. I think a lot of people died in all of the presentations. It's a lot of death. I don't know why. Students like to kill each other. I have no idea. Okay. So before I'm going to try this. Can you see this? Can you see it? Yeah, my camera feed is towards OBS, so that's why I couldn't use the camera for Google Meet. So this. No, I think the sound is not on. It's okay. So we can start off our class using an animated video using Powtoons or this. I can move this on motion then. Yeah. So this is what the students see. When I hit studio mode, so this is what the students see now, program, and this is the preview, and I can change the preview to camera close. So now the students are not seeing my camera close yet. They're still seeing the program, but when I hit transition or I can hit fade, it fades. So now this is what the students see, and I can talk to them. I can show them things, and I can show them. Halal, okay? And then I can change to any of this. Desktop, it shows what's on the desktop. And I'm in the little thing here, which I can move anywhere. And I can like create scenes for the configuration of your screen that you need to show to the students. But you can also add things like sources, video capture, window capture. You can also add, for example, text, and then okay, and you can say text online TNL workshop, and you can select a font. Okay. And and you can use that. You can make it bigger and smaller. You can put it in the corner, depending on the. You change the color. And as this is happening, you can, you prepare everything. You prepare the scenes. You prepare the sources before the class. And when you start teaching, you can go to another camera. Oh, okay, now I'm talking here, and then I'm showing something else, and then I'm showing the desktop. I'm showing this scene. I'm showing a picture of this. You present to everyone. So that's one of the things that you can do with this. But you have to be creative. You have to try to figure out what to show to the students that can make them really grab their attention. That make them more engaged with you. And how you might, okay, one of the things that a lot of people ask me is how you connect with YouTube. This is there are a lot of ways, there are a lot of things you can actually connect with: Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Restream, Twitter, Periscope, blah blah blah. But I use YouTube, primary YouTube. There's also a stream key where you can you can get your stream key at the YouTube page itself. For example, you go to this is the one that a lot of people ask, that are very, very difficult for a lot of people to answer. What you do is you go live, follow my channel, subscribe to my channel. Yeah, yes. Like BM, SEAL BM channel, SEAL English channel, and we can add things there as we go along. So when you press stream, it has stream settings. Here's a stream key. Copy paste. Take here. Copy. I'm not going to show this to you because if I show this to you, you can intercept my stream. So once you copy, you can paste it here. And once you paste it here, you start your stream here. Start your stream. There's a button where you start your stream, and then you press start streaming here, and you are live on YouTube. Whatever you do, anybody who has the link to your YouTube, your YouTube video, the one that you're going to stream, they will be able to see what you do, what you say, whatever that you present. So that is this. Like I said, there's too many things to unpack here. This is basically, I'm just telling you what the tool is. There are lots of applications which, even for me, I haven't really thought about it a lot yet. There's probably a lot more that we can do with it. So, so we go back to. Thank you very much. That's all for live streaming using Open Broadcaster software.
Okay, thank you very much.
And any questions? Please feel free.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Hisham, for the presentation. That is our closing presentation actually. That is the last session.